Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Please trade with capital you can afford to lose. The views shared in this video are not intended as trade recommendations. This video's sole purpose is to be a personal log entry on which to gauge my own performance. Viewers are solely responsible for how they use this information and for their own results. Alright, so here we go. We had a trend day up today. As I've mentioned before, I do not like to trade trend days. I just can never seem to find a good enough pullback to justify the risk to put on. But I did have one opportunity today and just missed it, man. Just a bit outside. It came back within one tick of the level that I wanted to see tested for an entry. And so we'll just go through that really quickly. But as you know, we opened in a gap down. We opened 10.75 points lower than the prior low of the day from Friday's session. And you know, there's not a really good probability of us closing that gap. So, you know, that being said, you know, I didn't want to put too much emphasis into longs, which kept me off early, and you know, just really I didn't see anything that would indicate such. So let's just go through it. Here's the open. We opened up and sold off right away, and we found buyers, and I wanted to see how far we're going to get here. So the middle of the gap zone that we left behind, or that we opened with, is around 26.5, right? I mentioned it was a 10.75 point gap down, so you know, 5 1/4 or so from 21. So 26.25, 26.5 is our gap zone mid. So as we pushed up, this is a good enough rotation up that we should see a nice pullback to about the middle of the zone, which coincides nicely with the open and this little hesitance area that I thought we might catch a continuation move right up to that 26.5 level for rotations down for the rest of the day. That did not happen, and buyers were unable to keep it above the mid and the VWAP and the open and all of this. So this told me to stay off of longs, and I was already looking for an extension to the downside once we got through the mid here for possible shorts. Okay, now I didn't see anything here. This is a nice little collision here on the liquidity offered. We had about 1,000 contracts on the bid, and 750 of them traded or so before we got a rotation back up. And so we got to test, you know, one tick past the opening swing low. This isn't exactly a one tick failed auction here, even though you know, literally speaking, it is what it is. It went one tick, and that ended up being the low of the day. But we didn't see that rejection that usually comes with a one tick failed auction. You know, came back down and put in a little bit more volume. We put in quite a bit of volume down here before starting to rotate up. And this kind of wall of liquidity down here is kind of blocking out everything else that's happening in the middle here. See, as you push these really bright levels of liquidity out, all of these kind of come to light. And that's a reason, you know, that's why I always say don't pay too much attention to other people's heat map settings and their dot settings and things, because it all changes depending on how far you zoom in and out and things like that. So anyway, we do get this continuation move up through this 26 level mid, and we put in the initial balance high right here at 28.25. Okay, and we got pretty good volume on that move too. That's pretty good conviction. You know, all the way up, you see liquidity trying to push up, and on the offer, it's kind of pulling here. We see a little bit of flipping of the book, but buyers are pretty aggressive, and so as we get a pullback, you know, like I said, I'm still expecting today, probability-wise, to leave somewhat of a gap between today's high of day and the prior session's low of day, Friday's low. So I'm not too eager to jump on longs right away. But as we start to develop this, we put in a lot of volume up top here. Let me speed this up. And as we do that, the sellers are unable to get back down through the middle of the zone, which is down here around 23 or so. I don't think they ever touch the mid. And so, you know, one thing that I was looking for as we came up here, like I said, we see a little bit of exhaustion maybe up here, possibly. I'm expecting us to leave somewhat of a gap, so we get a rotation down and a lower high. So now I want to see a lower low and a reason to get in at some sort of consolidation area or zipper or something, and start to rotate down for the rest of the day. But that's not what we got. We got this lower high, but we got this equal low. Okay, so we got this kind of local double low, whatever, and turn sideways. We got a push up. We got an equal high also. So this is telling me just be careful. I mean, we're not really ready. Sellers aren't really too aggressive here. We've been able to test right back up to the same level yet. So really, this is just kind of sideways chop / noise, but it is telling me something. Okay, and as we get down, I want to see what happens at the mid if we can test it, and we still can't test it. Okay, so now we're still hanging out up here. You see buyers still becoming aggressive. They pull a little bit, but chopping sideways. We've tested lower already. We're accepting higher, although still below, and here we go. This is what I wanted to see. All right. So we got this push higher. We took out this local double top. We got a higher low, right, here and here. Now we have a higher high, all from both. This is kind of a channel here and here, and we have a higher high from here to here. Liquidity was taken / backed off up here, and so now I'm thinking long. And what really has me thinking long is that we've been putting in so much volume up here that now look at where the developing volume point of control is. It's right here at 25.5. All right, so now that we've chopped around it, or you know, since we've put it in here, we've chopped around and we've pushed higher, higher high. This is my area. I know that I can get in right there with, let's see what I got on right now. 1 lots, sure. So I know, I mean, I'm not gonna just enter blindly at 25.5, but what I am gonna do is zoom into this, and I want to see any reason I can to get in long here. And I know I'm wrong below this level, you know, any of this down here. So really, you know, I'll take 24. Why not? So let's see. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll put in all 4 there, and I want to see an area that I can get in 4 long here, so that I can scale 1 here. Sorry, 2 here. I want to scale half of my position at 1 tick. Did we trade here? Let me see if we traded. Yeah, we traded 66 contracts at the top. So I want 1 tick below the most recent swing high as my first scale out. And then I'm looking for targets at 26 is my first initial target. We've already gone there, and you can see why that's my first target, because that's a CLVN here. My second target is 31.75, which is the prior low a day. So right here at 31, because I want to front run that by 3 ticks. And then my next target is 37.5, which is the overnight high. As you remember down here, we didn't get to the overnight low. We ended up IB low, turned into the low of the day, 1 tick shy. Didn't make it. So 3 ticks ahead of the overnight high. And then my ultimate target, extended target here, is the micro composite volume point of control for March 21st through the 24th, and also coincides with the value area low from the prior session, right here at 40.5. And I believe this is a big time level that Murad was mentioning as well in his, I think it was his third hypo that ended up working out today, and he kind of called in the middle of of trading. So that's what we've got, and this is how I would set it up. I mean, obviously I can't pause the market, but this is what I'm looking for, and I wouldn't be putting in all of these like this. You know, I want to get in first. I want to see. You know, the whole reason I'm not just gonna put my my entries right here at 25.5 and wait for the bus to run me over is for that reason alone. It might just flush straight through here, in which case I can just stand aside and, you know, give the old El Toro. But you know, I want to see what happens. I want to see 25.5 tested, and I want to see it start to rotate back up, and I want to see some liquidity start to bounce in and push it higher. And oh, that was really fast. Sorry. Let's go back. Let's go back just a touch here. I don't know if I'll be able to do that with the. Okay, so it erases my targets, but that doesn't matter. That was just so that you could see it. But here it is. Let me see if I can go back just a little bit further. Well, that's fine. So here's the higher high. Boom. Now I want the long from 25.5. I'm waiting. Here it comes down at 16 times speed, but even in real time, I mean, you can see it did it. I don't even know if it traded it. Let's see if it traded down here. Yeah, 20 contracts. Of those 3 times that the best bid came down to 25.75, only 20 contracts traded down there, and rotated right back up. I mean, I just had no chance here. Even if I saw that and tried to get in here. Let's see how many contracts traded here. I mean, just nothing. Let's see how many we got there. One contract traded right there. That's it. So just couldn't catch it. And then, you know, the rest is history. It moved up, you know, another 15 points or so from there. Maybe more than that. But that's it, man. That was the trade I saw today. And shame it didn't come down 2 more ticks. But you know what? Better to have a 0 trades on the day than have a couple losses or get emotional and trade, you know. So you know what? That's okay. It's a trend day. I'm gonna stand aside. There's always tomorrow. Live to trade again tomorrow, right? All right. Thanks, guys.